Hello and happy Thursday, everybody. Here's what's coming up tonight on Now Weather. Obviously, a big topic of discussion. We'll get you all the latest information. Also, a Maine State Trooper is in some hot water after some damning dash cam video. We'll have that story. Apple, the iPhone, are they messing with us? Katie Ortiz is going to have that story. And puppies and kittens for Christmas. Oh yeah, we'll have that as well. This is News Center Now.
This is the ice mother load right here. 14 of them. Not one of them speaks English. Drivers, no driver's licenses.
This dashcam video has one officer in hot water, but his boss says he didn't break any laws.
And you might want to stock up on some salt and make sure your shovels are ready to go. That's because a stream of winter storms are moving in. Hello, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Christina Rex. We'll have that immigration story in a moment. But first, Keith is here now because, Keith, we have a few storms coming up.
We do. So we've heard from a lot of people. They're concerned about their holiday plans. You are here to either crush their dreams or to validate their fears.
No pressure.
Which one? Why are you going to do that? I could be doing both, I suppose. Let's take a look at where this storm is coming from. And this is the snowfall map that we have, obviously, for the event. But let's start where the storm is. It's out here. It's a warm front. It doesn't look like very much right now, but as it moves towards us, it'll increase its precipitation shield, and we'll get what we call overrunning snow, which is a very consistent kind of snow that starts during the day tomorrow. So tonight's fine. It's cold though, and as the snow moves in tomorrow morning, it is all snow and it's fluffy through the first part of the day. It'll be probably mid-morning over western and southern Maine. It will take until the afternoon though to get into northern and down east Maine. So just the timing of this is going to depend on your location. Snow becomes moderate at times late afternoon into the early evening. It's still all snow until late in the evening. Then we start changing over to freezing rain, and I think that's the problem during the day on Saturday. All this pink area here depicting freezing rain. It is not sleet, unfortunately. That continues until Saturday afternoon before we change over. So the snow is one thing, as we just showed you, a generalized 3 to 5, and then 5 to 6 over western Maine down into parts of New Hampshire. The bigger problem here, guys, though, is this: the ice accretion zone up to 1/3 of an inch of ice. We'll talk about what that might mean in a few minutes.
All right, Keith, look for the full forecast in just a little bit. Back to what Christina was talking about earlier, and a Maine State Trooper is coming under fire for his comments during a traffic stop in Portland. This was back in September. In that traffic stop, multiple alleged illegal aliens were arrested by ICE.
Now one of their lawyers is accusing Officer Robert Burke of racial profiling. That dashcam footage was just released yesterday. What started as a traditional traffic stop took what a defense attorney says is a racist turn.
Dude, they're fucking all sketchy as hell.
According to court documents, Maine State Trooper Robert Burke pulled a white van over on 295 South in Portland. He says because of a cracked windshield and a passenger without a seatbelt. Soon after, he discovered that the driver did not have a license and nobody in the van spoke English. Officer Burke says in an attempt to find someone able to drive the vehicle, he proceeded to ask for the IDs of all 11 people in the van.
El Salvador. I don't even know where this is from. Where's that from? El Salvador. What are these? Honduras. Mexico, and 2 of them don't even have anything.
None of them were able to produce valid driver's licenses or U.S. documentation. That's when Officer Burke suspected an illegal immigration situation and called ICE to come in as backup.
So I would think we'd be able to hold them as long as it takes for you to get here.
Okay, is there any way that I could speak to them on the phone, or do you not want them touching your phone? Then that's fine too.
Yeah, I really don't want them touching my phone. They're just listening.
I don't blame you.
At some point in the 2 hours of the traffic stop, Mario Ernesto Garcia Zavala, a 22-year-old from Honduras, is detained by ICE. He is charged with re-entering the U.S. illegally after he was deported in 2014. His lawyer doesn't deny that Garcia Zavala is an undocumented immigrant, something the defendant also admitted to ICE agents.
He's undocumented. There is no question.
It's not the arrest of his client, but what was said in the police cruiser that has attorney Robert Andrews furious.
Nothing dicey about this at all.
You don't think? Cracked windshield, no seatbelts.
Andrews says the officer racially profiled his client, and it was an illegal search and seizure when he asked for documents and licenses.
I'm angry because it's one thing to try to enforce immigration law, and it's quite another to have contempt and disrespect for the people that you're meant to protect. In my view, if he can't protect all of us, he shouldn't be protecting any of us.
Like this? And the defense attorney has filed a motion to dismiss much of the evidence in this case. He says the best case scenario for his client would be to return to Honduras without a criminal conviction on his record. Colonel Robert Williams of Maine State Police says that while the videos are embarrassing, Trooper Burke does not have any history of racial profiling. He says that edited videos only show the bad things he said during that stop, but that the trooper was respectful to those in the van. He also called the allegations a last-ditch effort by the defense to save its client. Trooper Burke is still out on patrol.
All right, Christina, thank you. And as Keith was talking about earlier, with all this weather coming in and the bulk of that snow coming in Friday night and this Saturday, a lot of people are going to be pushing ahead their their shopping plans ahead of the Christmas holiday because they want to get it done early. Chris Costa has that for us.
Bunches of bags stuffed with gifts. Holiday shopping comes a day early for Megan Holland, who watched the weather warnings.
It kind of changed our plans a little bit. We were going to go tomorrow, but we didn't want to have to travel in the snow.
The impending snow makes winter gear a popular gift. LL Bean employees pulled snow tubes off display to make them available.
Yeah, the more snow that comes in, we get hammered.
Tim Kidman is from Portland, but lives in San Diego now. He's outfitting his kids, who are seeing snow for the first time.
It'll be really nice to get him in the sled and yeah, hopefully it doesn't get too cold.
Stores see lots of foot traffic, and so do the sand piles, people prepping for inches of white powder. Public works departments are mixing the brine for the roads.
A lot of hours, a lot to do, and not much break in between lately.
Plow and salt truck drivers say they get ready the same way they do every storm. Having material to treat the roads is a must.
Same old, it's just tiring for us.
While they head to work, some are excited for the outdoor activities that follow a new coating of snow. Others have a different idea of fun.
We'll be at home in our pajamas, not together though. I'll be with someone else. Rub it in.
As Chris Costa with that story for us. Okay, so it's the most wonderful time of the year, but it's also the most stressful time of the year if you are a college student.
For those of you who don't know, a blue book is apparently what you need to write a freaking essay. You have to go and buy special paper so that your professor can read it, because apparently they're illiterate whenever you write on notebook paper.
Alrighty, that's one way to go. A student is going viral for her, I guess, hilarious final exam experience. We'll have that story when we come back.
And you ask for them, we deliver. We have a dog story, Christmas edition, later on now.
Hey guys, Katie Ortiz here for Social Stop. What I'm about to tell you will probably annoy you and make you want to throw your phones. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm taking this way too personally. Apple finally has come clean and admitted the older your iPhone gets, the slower it runs. We all knew it. If you're an iPhone owner, you know that when a new, faster and sleeker model comes out, or when you download the new iOS whatever, it feels like your phone just magically turns into a fossil. Well, in a statement, Apple explains that lithium-ion batteries become less capable of supplying peak current demands in cold conditions, have a low battery charge, or as they age over time, which can result in the device unexpectedly shutting down to protect its electronic components. Essentially, they're saying iOS updates reduce the speed on purpose in older phones in order to preserve the battery life as they degrade, not because they want you to buy the new model. iPhone users online confirm that replacing the battery solves it all. There's an app called CPU Dasher X that shows the speed of the central processing unit on your phone. This user tweeted screenshots of how fast his CPU was running before the battery replacement, 600 megahertz, and after, 1400 megahertz. Apple will change your battery for $79 if you don't have their AppleCare warranty protection. Meanwhile, at ESPN, Maine made headlines on one of their radio shows this morning. Golic and Wingo picked up a story from New Maine News. You may remember we did a story on New Maine News back in October, which is a satirical website, almost like the Local Onion. Well, apparently the producers at Golic and Wingo didn't know that and ran a story from Monday. The headline, Class D basketball game called off after ball gets stuck behind wooden stove. Take a listen.
Hold on a minute. From the New Maine News, a loose ball caused the ball to travel out of bounds where it became lodged between the wall and the gym's wood stove. The Greenville High School wood attendant, Jerry Chase, said the stove was almost too hot to go near then. Ball didn't stand a chance. The stove was testifying, Chase said, referring to the strong draft being pulled by the expertly built and maintained fire inside.
I don't even know where to go with that.
Call a game. Now, is the ball on fire now? Is that what I'm trying to figure out?
I can't imagine the ball survived that.
I don't know what a stove was testifying mean, but it has something to do with, I guess, the strong draft.
Yeah, we reached out to ESPN Radio and Golic and Wingo for a comment. We haven't heard back, but Seth Macy, the creator of New Maine News, told us if no one on ESPN could be bothered to click through the site to read the other headlines or do the 5 minutes of research it takes to realize it was a satirical website, that's a bummer for them. Today's headline is about an orc army commanded by Portland Mayor Ethan Strimling, so it would literally have taken one click to figure out, oh yeah, this site is satire. So he made it clear that he's not trying to trick anybody. I mean, it's clear that it's a satirical website.
You would think somebody would have figured that out.
They'll probably be a little embarrassed once they figure that out.
Not in Bristol, Connecticut.
I hope. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah, and Apple, we got to talk.
Seriously,
we got to
I want some serious money back. I'll tell you that right now. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, a high school in New England causing all kinds of controversy because it has decided to get rid of the term freshman.
The East Hampton High Handbook in Massachusetts will now say first years instead. The Gender and Sexuality Alliance group asked the school committee to make terms more gender neutral. Administrators say students can still choose to say freshman if they wish, but staff are encouraged to be conscious of their pronouns.
Okay, we want to know what you think. I feel like there's going to be a lot. Comment right now on our Facebook live stream. Do you think that Maine schools should consider doing away with the term freshman to be more gender neutral? We'll be reading your comments during the commercial break.
All right, yesterday we told you about the mom who was determined to finish her final exams even though she was in labor.
Yeah, well, we're happy to report Mom, Dad, and son are home today totally healthy. Her teachers say she is an inspiration and that they always knew she was a dedicated student.
Well, today we have another college final story for you, and this one will certainly bring you back to your university days.
Okay, I totally remember this. Studying, stress, buying those blue books, right? Well, this University of Texas student is going viral because she shared her harrowing final story on social media. Here's just a small clip of it.
So I have 15 minutes to get there. I get to the classroom and realize that I don't have a blue book. For those of you who don't know, a blue book is apparently what you need to write a freaking essay. You have to go and buy special paper so that your professor can read it because apparently they're illiterate whenever you write on notebook paper. Okay. So I sprint to the co-op, I get 2 blue books, and I run back to the classroom. I'm sitting down in the front row. I text my friend who's in the class. This girl's like, I'm in the 3rd row, and I turn around, and she's not in the 3rd row. I'm like, I don't know why you can't count, but you're not there. Like, I'm in the 1st row, you're in the 3rd row. That's not happening. And then I look around some more, and I'm like, I've never seen these people before. And like, okay, I haven't been to class in like a month. But still, like, I don't recognize them. And so I asked this girl, I'm like, this is RTF, right? This is like world cinema history. She's like, no, this is physics. Okay, then where's my exam? I text my friend, and she's like, you get different classroom assignments for your exam. We're in Hog. So I'm like, oh my God. And I run straight into a window in front of all these people. So I scream an expletive and move 2 feet to the left to an open door and run to Hog.
Okay, first of all, decaf.
Ooh, yeah.
Decaf.
Yeah,
okay?
too many Red Bulls
She
during that
does
studying
get to her
period.
exam, but she runs into a few more roadblocks after that. Shocker. You can see the full clip on our website.
But the best part is all the people who've reached out to her saying they saw her run into the window, or they were the one who told her she was in the wrong classroom. Even the college president reached out to say the student is now set for life when it comes to Blue Books. And he says that UT is definitely the right place for her.
Okay, tell us your college final nightmare stories right now. They can't be any worse than that on our Facebook live stream.
Okay, there's nothing quite like getting a best friend for Christmas.
It's important to have those conversations because we want them to be placed into homes where they'll spend their lives happy and healthy.
But puppies and kittens aren't always the best gifts. We'll tell you why when we come back.
And we are on a roll for snowstorms. When the first one will hit, we'll keep coming up.
Christmas if John Travolta doesn't show up in Rockland? That story coming up.
Okay, look at the baby. At some point over the next few days, people will be getting presents that they will try on, some presents that require batteries, and some presents that will require food and water.
That's right. Some furry friends will be making their way into new homes for Christmas, and in some cases, it'll be a big surprise.
All some want for Christmas is their 2 front paws and 2 back paws, or no paws at all. The Animal Refuge League of Greater Portland is making some holiday wishes come true. For the next 3 days, people can come to the shelter and pick out their animals and then bring family members by on Christmas Eve to reveal the big surprise.
For a lot of families, it's not the ideal time to adopt a pet because you're traveling or you have a lot of family members. But for some families, it is a great time because you have time off, maybe the kids are out of school, and you don't have a lot of commitments to do.
This is the 3rd year the shelter has had this promotion, and some people consider it the perfect holiday gift. This kitty is headed to Corrine Zdanik's daughter.
She's always loved cats, and I thought I would surprise her and get her a cat for Christmas. She'll be so excited. She's wanted one for a long time, and I've put it off, so this will be a great surprise.
Christmas time or not, the process to adopt an animal remains the same year-round.
We call it adoption counseling, and it's a really honest conversation any day of the week for every single adoption. We talk about the animal's needs, what the family is looking for in an animal, and we really do a matchmaking process to ensure that what the family is expecting is what that animal they're interested in is going to meet their expectations.
Now, giving pets as presents is only recommended if you have given it some long and serious practical consideration, and as long as you're not acting impulsively or terribly emotionally. But I think emotion and pets do kind of go together.
They do.
Was
Was that for Karen? Was that a message for Karen? Because you guys got a few pets.
Why would you call him out on
during pregnancy, did you not? Is that true?
A lot of the pets in my home did come during pregnancy time.
Yes. I feel like we talked about this on Facebook.
There is a correlation.
Okay,
that is public information.
Okay.
Okay.
We got
At least it is now.
We got a lot going on, so for once I'll actually have to do my job.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. I know, it's weird. Big warm front on the way here. This is our storm system for tomorrow. As you can see, it's kind of an elongated area. This warm air to the south, cold air to the north. That's where the precipitation comes from. And it's important to note that it's going to be cold tonight. And the reason this is important is because it will get locked in to the lower levels of the atmosphere as we try to transition over to rain on Saturday. And we're going to have a hard time because it will be so cold at the onset, and that's always an issue in Maine when these storms approach in this direction. So tomorrow morning, timing-wise, it'll be morning over southwestern and western Maine. It'll wait until noon or so over the mid-coast, and then afternoon for down east and northern Maine. If you're in Aroostook County, you won't see anything until the evening. Snow's light at first, but becomes moderate later in the day into the early evening. Moderate clip comes down, starts accumulating pretty nicely through Friday evening, and then late Friday night, Saturday morning, here's where we run into trouble. It's warm aloft, it's cold at the surface. That creates a large pocket of freezing rain that goes on through Saturday afternoon before finally clearing out late in the afternoon into the evening, changing over to rain along the coastline and then the storm is out of here on Sunday, and we get a little bit of a break. So here are your snowfall amounts. We didn't have to change this map from yesterday. 3 to 5 widespread, 5 to 6 in this little pocket here. I'd imagine some of the ski areas will measure more than 6 inches, but they can't really be trusted with measurement, first of all. Second of all, some of that is orographic. It's elevational lift there. The more important map, though, to really think about is this one. Ice accretion, 1/4 to 1/3 of ice in this shaded zone. And the reason I'm so specific is because a 1/2 inch of ice starts knocking out a lot of power lines. So I think it's important that this be right. I think everybody else thinks that too, that we end up just below that threshold where it's significant icing, but it is not enough icing to do a lot of power damage. So that's what we're going to be watching. Then, by the way, guys, the storm on Monday looks like it's not as big a deal. So we might be talking about just a couple of inches for Christmas Day itself. So your best chance to go out and do your last minute, everybody does Amazon now, right? But if you want to go to the mall, because that's at this point you got to go probably to an actual store. Tomorrow morning or Christmas Eve day looks okay. After that, we're into the freezer, as I mentioned, for next week. Really cold, mid to late next week. So I don't think Christmas Day will be a you can't travel around deal. Saturday morning looks a little dicey. That's a period of time I'd avoid.
All right.
I'm out tomorrow morning. I'm shopping tomorrow morning, so it's good.
Thanks,
all of
Keith.
it? Yeah.
Me too. Anyway,
it's payday.
Back to the news. A waitress in Rockland must have racked up some good karma points because she's been on a lucky streak lately.
Yesterday, Bianca Brancella was working a late shift at Pizza Hut when a very nice customer left her a $200 tip.
But wait, it gets better. Bianca went to TJ Maxx and she ran into John Travolta. Bianca and her boyfriend took the photo with the actor. You may remember this isn't the first time Travolta was spotted at that TJ Maxx.
Almost exactly 1 year ago, a shopper sent us this selfie with Travolta at the very same store. Pretty cool.
So cool.
All right, News Center 5:30 coming up next. Cindy Williams here with a sneak peek. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, guys. Schools in Ellsworth were shut down today because of a threat that was made in an online chat room. We're going to have details on what was said online. And if you get pulled over in Freiburg, don't panic. That officer may have a Christmas surprise for you, one that does not involve paying a fine. Details on that and more all coming up in the next half hour. Back to you.
Awesome, Cindy. Thanks. Now we'll be right back after the break.
All right, check this out. This is a home security footage of a bird that looks like it's floating. What's going on here is the shutter speed of the camera is synchronized exactly with the speed of the wing, so you're not seeing it happen. You may have seen this before with helicopters. There's some really famous videos of that. Here's one of them, of a helicopter, and the rotor is synced exactly with the shutter speed. You'll notice that the back part of it you can still see, but this, the actual blade, is full sync. Pretty cool. There's an even better one. Look it up on YouTube. We'd get sued if we used it, apparently. But there's one from this year that's unbelievable of that same exact
That
thing.
is so cool.
It's a pretty cool camera feature. Love the shutter.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Used to be able to shoot football at the Patriots and blades of grass. You could see each one come out of the field because it was so slowed down. Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Moving on, though, News
Say
Center
goodbye.
at 5:30 starts right now.